Hey, so if you're watching this, then it means you're probably struggling with basics of GeoGebra. So I'm just going to give a little run through for a couple of basic constructions just to kind of clear up how we're going to correlate the tools that we normally use for construction, which are paper, compass, and pencil, and a straight edge, and correlate those to the GeoGebra tool. So let's just start with a basic one like copying a segment. So if we have a segment, and let's just use the segment between 2 points tool. Okay, so this is the equivalent of using a straight edge and drawing a segment on a piece of paper. Now, if I want to copy that segment, I'm going to draw another segment on a piece of paper like this that's longer, and then I'm going to use the compass and I'm going to open it to the length of my first segment, and then I'm going to map that length onto my second segment. So let's do that. Let's use the compass tool. So I would literally just select where it says compass, and then I'm going to open my compass to the distance of AB. And you see that gives me a circle. This is representing my compass being open to this distance. So I'm going to come down here at point C, and I'm going to place my compass right on there. Now, the place where my compass intersects my point D, or my segment here, is going to be where the segment is congruent. And so this is the arc marking. Now, I can make an arc on GeoGebra and hide everything else in the circle. If I wanted to do that, I might come up here and come back to the circle tools and just do a circular arc with a center between 2 points. And to do that, I would click this tool and then just click my center and 2 points on my circle. And you can see that an arc was formed, and then I can simply come over here and hide the rest of the circle. Now it looks a lot like the construction that I would have done with paper and pencil, and I just need to mark the intersection of those 2 points. Now, do you have to do this in GeoGebra? No. I'm just trying to show it to you this way so that you can see how similar it is to what you would have done on compass and on paper and with a compass. So if I were to undo this and come back to just having the circle without the arc, I would simply create the intersection of these 2 points. And I would do that by creating a new point tool. And then everywhere I hover where there's an object that my point could go on, it darkens. Do you see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to this point of intersection and look at that magic. When I come to the point of intersection, do you see how segment CD and circle C both get dark? If I click the point right there where they're both dark, my point will be on that intersection. Now, if I select my move tool and come back over here, and I can't move that gray point, but when I move my point C, there you go. Actually, it's when I move my original segment. When I move my original segment AB, the length of CE always corresponds with that because I created it with a compass set to the same length as AB. So if AB is smaller, then my compass setting was smaller. This is the dynamic nature of GeoGebra, which makes it different than a paper and pencil. Let's do one more just so that we can get a feel for where we are. So I'm going to highlight all of this, which you can do with the arrow tool, and I'm just going to click delete, and that brings me back to a plain screen. Now let's do something else. Let's do a segment bisector. So I'm going to just do a segment between 2 points. I'm going to drop my first point and my second point, and I want to bisect this segment. So again, when I do a paper and pencil construction, I need to have a compass open to something a little bit more than halfway, and I'm going to draw an arc below and above. And I'm going to repeat that from B. So just like we did before, we're going to use the compass tool to do that action. So I'll come over here to my circle tools and come back to the compass, select it, and then I want to have a setting that is just about maybe this big, okay? Just a little bit over halfway. Now, granted, I clicked to see where it is. I could have clicked that anywhere. I want the center to be on A though, because now I've set my compass length, but I want the point on A so that when I draw the circle, it makes my arcs above and below. And you'll see that I've got my arc above and I've got my arc below. I just happen to have the whole circle with it. I want to use the same circle over here for B with B as the center. So I need to use my compass tool again. I still have it selected. So I'm going to use the same radius, okay? But I'm going to come over to B. Oops. Let's try that again. Let me undo. I want to do compass, and I'm going to select the distance from A to C, and there's my compass open to the same distance as A to C, but I want to put it at point B. So this is the equivalent of me putting the point at B and swinging the arc without changing the compass setting. Now you can see where I have those two arcs. Again, if I had done this with a compass and protractor, I would have simply had an arc here and an arc here, not the entire circle. That's the difference. Again, I'm going to go in and make my little points above and below. So right, again, watch, I think this is so cool. Where the circles both get dark means I'm going to guarantee a point of intersection. So I'm going to click there. And now I can use my line between 2 points. And I'm going to do the line because I want it to extend past points D and E. And I'm going to go ahead and just start at D and go through E. And now the point where DE passes through AB is cutting it in half. And I can check that by measuring it, but for right now, I'm just going to show you that when I drag point B, look what happens. As AB gets shorter, there's my little perpendicular bisector still right in the middle. If I make it longer, still right in the middle. So that's a nutshell of how GeoGebra is similar to your paper and pencil construction, and hopefully this will help you get started as you move through your own.